stiff arms the crap out of Drake Kirkpatrick right there. Fighting through contact, fighting through the offensive line, being a double team, multiple moves stacked into one, just a play of pure domination. This is actual film, this is actual football talk. It's a football show, we're supposed to talk football, not storylines. And you are listening to the 33rd edition of Blitz. If you're asking, why is he wearing the same shirt as he was last time? I told you last time, I'm recording this right after I did the Quincy Wilson show. But for the people who are not going to watch that show and to watch this show, 33rd edition, 19 plays, quick review of Chris Hogan. The Jets' relatively reliable 4th or 5th string receiver, as long as they can stay healthy. I watched 2018 tape of him just because I wanted to get the feel of him in the Patriots offense when he was healthy. The Panthers offense, he never really got going and never really played a lot of reps in any game because he was always injured. So, assuming health, the 2018 players more what the Jets are going to get. Quick housekeeping. Jets X Shop, again, wearing the same shirt I was last time. There's a lot of stuff there. One day we'll go through the store. Other than that, the thing I want to address the most, YouTube live show, like I said, where you guys can call in, interact, whether that be through the phone number, which is 818-794-7004, or if you have a YouTube's, if you have an account, which you can make an account in literally 35 seconds, go onto that account. If you go onto the live stream, which again, you just click on Jets X Factor at 6 o'clock, you're going to see us live streaming on that. Click on it, and you can type below. If you don't want to call in, hey, Joe, what do you think about this alignment? Or, hey, Joe, or Kyle, too. Kyle's going to be doing a show with me. Hey, what do you guys think about this guy? Or do you think this guy's overrated or underrated? Or what's your favorite condiment? Like, I want you guys to ask crazy questions, ask stupid questions, ask football questions. Literally, whatever you want to ask, I want to interact with you guys. Whether that be, how'd you start? What should I read? Anything. What was your favorite game you've been to? Like, I want to really interact with people. And again, if you want to call in and have your voice heard, I'm gonna cut the phone calls relatively short. I'm not gonna do a half an hour with anybody, but if you want to talk for 5-10 minutes, I'm completely down with that. Again, 818-794-7004, September 2nd, 6 p.m. Other than that, email Joe, Joe, period, Blewett, BLEWETT at Jets with an S, xfactor.com. And that's for the pick'ems. If you are going to be interested in the pick'ems, I just let me know there. If I don't get too many responses, I'll just cut that out, and then I'll do it with myself and Marcus and whoever else. But again, if you do that, we're going to give out, whoever wins it, if you beat me, Marcus, we'll give you 2 free t-shirts and a year subscription. That's like a $90 value, and it's just, to have fun with people picking the games. And we'll see if I get enough people, I'll be mentioning you on 16 weeks of the show, and I'll be talking shit to you, and you're not gonna be able to respond on the show. So it'll be fun for me. So I really enjoy that. I appreciate all the fans and all the listeners and everybody who's been supporting. Like I said, we got another rating, which is awesome. If you're listening on YouTube, or if you're watching on YouTube, just go to the podcast app, type in Blitz, leave me a 5-star at the minimum. Or you could obviously write a review too. I have 60 reviews, and they're all 5 stars. The one person wrote me a really good review and left a 5-star, and I must have said something to piss him off and left me a 1-star. So I have 59 5 stars and 1 star from the guy who I pissed off. It was like, name is like Zach's 987653 whatever. So if you're listening, Zach's, I'm sorry for whatever I said. Not really, but maybe you just made a mistake. Other than that, there's really not too much. Yeah, that's it. Like I said, just make sure you do that YouTube live. This is a second to last show in terms of player reviews. We're going to have Gore after this, and then that's pretty much it. We're going to have the YouTube live stream, and then we're going to give a nice week-ish break before football starts, recharge my batteries for a week, not watch any film. And then the season starts, and we have a 17-week run of me breaking down every single game every single week. So it should be a lot of fun. But like I said, inevitably, I'm going to finish Gore on the 26th, and as soon as I finish recording him, they'll sign freaking Logan Ryan, and it'll need a massive review, which I'll be fine with because I want to sign Logan Ryan. I want to trade for Ngakwe or Juju Smith or whatever. Like I want big moves, like they're fun, especially with tape. But inevitably what's going to happen. I'm going to get a nice break, or I think I'm going to get a nice break, and it's going to be completely cut short. So that show on the second is going to be a 53-man roster prediction, just discussion, and hopefully a largely fan interactive type show, or call-in interactive type show. So it'll be fun. Getting into Chris Hogan, I watched 2018 weeks 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 15, and 17. The strengths and weaknesses, again, a little bit rough drafty for me compared to what I usually do, but strengths I put blocking, veteran, so he's smart. His route running is pretty crisp, good square cuts, good job shortening stride before top of the routes. He has some different releases, whether it be stretches, get evens, foot fire releases. He sinks into his breaks, his chest over his toes in his breaks. Good double moves. He gets on the DB's toes. He attacks DBs with stems. Hop steps and route breaks to lessen distance between him and the corner before he breaks, but kind of selling that he's going to take close more ground, which is a good thing. Uses hands well in routes, finds soft spot in zones, holds ground in stems and leans. Pretty good hands, and he uses peak technique. His weaknesses is a lot of physical type stuff in terms of injuries the last few years. Overall speed, overall explosion, doesn't offer a lot of yak. He's not going to win many 50-50 balls. His catch radius isn't very big. There's sometimes I like to see him attack the ball a little bit more. His body control and adjustments to the ball isn't as good as some other guys like Perryman and Mims that we have on the team. Would like to see him maintain speed out of square cuts where he slows down a little bit, but those are the strengths and weaknesses. Again, 6'1", 220, 31 years old. So he's a little bit like bulkier. Like he's a little bit like he's not like a Julian Edelman or any one of those like smaller guys. Like he does have some size to him, but he's a little bit bulkier. Like he's not a quick explosive type guy. So again, 19 plays of him. Then we got Gore. Right after the show, I'm going to watch Gore. I'm doing a marathon today, trying to get everything done. 5 more games of Gore to watch. I watched the first 3 already. That should be like a 20, 25, I would say 30 play max review of Frank Gore. Right around that region. Because again, I don't want to keep these too long. Let's see. First play. Just close that out. All right. Hogan route bottom slot. Okay, so bottom slot right here. He's the number 2. So he's not in target right here, but we're gonna talk a lot about like his route running's good. And for a fourth or fifth guy, if this is what he is, he's not the worst option. Like obviously, if the Jets were to get a Juju or an Allen Robinson or one of these guys, like yeah, it's exciting. But for a veteran receiver who's going to be where you want him to be, I rather have Hogan. Like and this is I'm saying for like one game. I'm not saying for the future, but if you're talking about one game, would you be more comfortable with Chris Hogan or Braxton Berrios? Would you be more comfortable with Chris Hogan or Vincent Smith? Would you be more comfortable with Chris Hogan or Lawrence Cager? If you're saying one of the other 3 guys, you're lying. They're unproven. Even Mims, and I'm getting into a soft spot right there because Mims could do a lot of things, but without the training camp, without running the offense, if you had one play for a guy to get open at the NFL level right now, are taking Hogan or Mims. Be realistic. Like, and I think the Mims could be. I compared him to AJ Green. I said that I think he could be a top 10 receiver in the NFL. But for one game right now, if you had one route to get open, who do you think is going to be right now? I'm going to bet on Hogan. And again, that's because of the veteran savvy, the route running that he has. So he's a guy who's going to be reliable for Sam Darnold, and he's making some plays in camp. Would I rather like to see Demaryius Thomas at this point? Probably, but maybe they had some injury problems with Demaryius Thomas last year. There was also problems with Demaryius Thomas last year where he would clearly loaf on some plays, which I didn't love. So I'm okay with him as a depth guy. He's obviously not going to be he's not an exciting player, but again, he's reliable. He's going to be where he should be. So comes off the line right here, and he uses a get even. He just squares the guy up, presses to the outside. So right now the corner's playing with inside leverage, and he just wants he wants to get on his toes and make him panic a little bit. He gets onto his toes, and then presses outside, which makes the corner think, okay, he stemmed me inside, he's getting outside now. He's going to try to get it obviously outside. I mean, that's his route is outside. He opens up his hips. Hogan uses his hands. push by, chop. So again, square him up, get him to open up outside to get inside, because you don't want to just to get inside, go inside, because then he's just gonna to stem to stay over top of you, affect your drive phase, things like that. You need to obviously manipulate him with your route stem a little bit, which he is good at doing. There's guys right here who just do this and then try to go inside, and he would just stay over top of him and be all over it. But because he's a savvy route runner, he sees that he's maintaining his inside leverage when he squares him up, so he's going to break outside to get inside. Good job, with his understanding. Holds his stem right here. Corner opens up. You see the right hand push onto the shoulder right there, and then he punches through. Punch through, and he's open inside. Now he's not. It's not a ton of room. A lot of his routes that he's open in, like obviously the Patriots, they manufacture touches and things like that. Like he'll run there's a lot of plays in this where I'll be honest, I watch him, he's wide open on like a streak or a seam route or a sit route or whatever it might have been, snag where it wasn't even worth putting in because it's just the Patriots well designing the offense. So you're going to see him with separation, but it's not going to be separation like a guy who's explosive, because guys can catch up to him for a little bit. So again, he's not the most explosive player, but he will get open. It's just not going to be for as long. Curl bottom. And so good job turning upfield right here to the outside. And again, so good job selling the drive phase. You can see right here, based on his body language, it looks like he's going deep, correct? So good job selling the drive phase. Now, you could see him versus other receivers. This foot is more driven into the ground. Like he's not lunging for it like the other guys are. Like he throws this down and sinks his hips. Look how low his hips are. Like you remember like Cage or other guys like you're talking about where they really lunge for it. Like it looks like a little bit of a lunge, but it's really not. Like maybe a tiny bit, but he really sinks into it. You see how his shoulders come over his knees. And he can even get a little bit lower here if you're being really, really nitpicky. But he can get even a little bit lower, but he really sinks his hips. See how low his hips are? See how condensed his body is right here? And he's a guy, it's interesting. He's not a long strider in terms of like he doesn't have like a really powerful lower body, but he knows how to get hit out of his routes with more steps, but they're not as long steps. So it looks like he's taking more steps, but he's getting out, which he is getting. He does take more steps, but they're shorter, choppier steps to get out, where guys might be more powerful with their steps to get out. So he takes more steps, but it's just as of a condensed route break. So stop step, sinks into it, stop step, and then again, look how low his hips are. His ass is almost touching the ground right here, getting out of this. So commits to both of his stop. Well, one stop step, two. I think he turns out a little bit early. I would like to say 1, 2, and not turn out, and then start to turn out on this step, where this is going to be breaking you back to the ball, and you're going to drive off of this outside foot. So he gets out a little bit too early, but really, really low, hips to the ground, gets out of it early, or gets out of it pretty well, catches the ball, and turns upfield. He does make a little bit too many body catches for me, though. So, again, pretty good cut. Pretty quick. Good job with his overall. Again, little nitpicky at the top of that break, but PI on double move. I think he's right here. No, he's at the top. Sorry. This is on a Dory Jackson. So I think it's on a Dory Jackson. Maybe it wasn't. So corner spline outside and off. He's going to stem him to the outside to threaten him. And then you're going to see him threaten him, square him up, run directly at him, get on his toes. And he's going to break down right here, just short stride him, which freezes the cornerback's feet, as you can see. He doesn't know what to do. Breaks outside. The arm of the corner, the left arm of the corner, tries to come to throw it on to Hogan to slingshot himself back into position. And he chops it. See left arm right there? It's really minimal. I'm trying to do it slow so you can see it. Chops it. And then the corner holds right here, and it's a PI. This part right here is a PI. So again, good job squaring him up and getting onto his toes, making him feel uncomfortable, short striding him, freezing his feet and widen. You can see his feet freeze and widen Right here, he's not in good position to run deep. So all he does is defeat the hands to get by him, which he does, chop and hold, and it's a PI, and he just got the Patriots however many yards on that play because of that PI. Play 4. Again, this is a really quick one, 19 plays. This is one of the shorter reviews I've done. Route, pace, rocker, beat Ramsey. Okay. Yeah, you like to see your guys beating Jalen Ramsey. So we'll watch it from this view. So you have Ramsey in off coverage. He's going to obviously run off the line. Good drive phase. He sells his drive phase well. He runs with good pace. But you see it, he goes like hide knees right here, which kind of affect a corner. If they're looking at your hips right here, like that high knee is going to affect them. So sells deep, throws the high knees, and gives them a rocker, like high knees into the rocker where break outside, inside. So he's selling it like this, where he's going to break outside, and again, it's just a 1-2. That's a rocker, almost it's like the same thing as a crossover, or it is like a crossover. That's pretty much what it is. So rocker 1-2, low into his break. You can see how low his hips are. See how he's high, or low to sell drive phase, comes high with those high knees, and then drops into his break. Drops into his break, nice and tight. 1-2, working off of the instep. It's a little bit in front of him, a little bit outside of him, which is good. You don't want it too far out wide. You don't want it too far in front. You want it in this nice like middle part of too high, too far outside. You want it enough where you could break off of it, but it's not going to widen you out too much where it's going to be a slow break. Gets his dry foot underneath of his frame. So break, drive, pointed under his frame. Gets inside, boom, touchdown, just beat Jalen Ramsey. Watch it again. Nice break. All right. Easy TD. Again, there was a couple of these with the Patriots, like a couple easy catches where it was like a 50-yard catch. I was like, should I even put that in there? Because it's just so easy. He's right here in the slot. This is pretty much one of them. Like the Patriot, like I don't know if it's because people are afraid of the Patriots watching some of their film. Like this should just not happen with other teams. Like this is just like, well, clear miscommunication. Like both of these guys think they're in man coverage on Patterson right here, and they clearly blow their assignment. Boom, right in the seam. Looks the ball in, hands catch. Good form. It looks like the ball is a little bit loose right there, but he's able to tuck it back in. Sees the safety coming at this hard angle downhill. Flattens, beats him, runs in for a touchdown. I would be not happy with the safety right here. Church. Again, you have pursuit from here. You have pursuit from the inside. Just do not get beat inside right here because it's the only really region. Like you want to cheat a little bit inside. Let this guy come from over the top. So not a good angle by I think 42 is Church in 2018. Flattens and a house call for Hogan. 6 whip route. He's me on the bottom right here. Yeah, it's a good whip route. This guy's not ready at the snap. Looks like they're playing just cover 2 man. Which he might be. Is this a linebacker? I don't know if this is a safety. It might be a safety. So runs off the line. Let's watch this like pretty much step by step. Runs off the line and square him up. Gives him the skip right there. Skip. Then the skip's pretty much just a hop off of this foot and then not taking this foot all the way through, just like halfway through, like just up to where your body is, and then hopping off of. That's what I call a skip step versus a hop where it's a double off of the same foot. So skips, breaks inside. And the good thing that he does right here is he doesn't close. You don't want to close too much ground when you're running this whip, because if you close too much ground and then he jet streams you where he's gonna get right onto your ass, you're not gonna be able to cut back behind your ass. So you want to cut it a little bit more flat and not get on onto his toes too much, because now the safety, the D, I think he's a DB. He could be a linebacker. I don't know what he is, to be honest. So this defender instead of, like I said, jet streaming you and getting onto your hip, or not even getting directly on the jet stream, but getting right onto your hip pocket. Now he's going to be able to contact you on that whip route. So whip routes, you want to square them up, run a little bit shallow, because now he's going to he's going to react and run inside. But when you break back, he's not going to be able to contact you. So good job keeping it short and getting onto his toes a little bit to make him panic a little bit to the inside. He takes that flat angle. You're going to see Hogan shorten his stride right here, drop his weight. And again, like, I wish I could show you another angle of this, but his body, I watched this a couple times, his body right here is like, his ass is almost hitting the ground. And again, with this type of route, you want to, like, you're going to stop, and then the left foot's going to plant and you're going to drive off of that. So he throws a stop step, 1, 2, but you want to turn that foot to work off of the instep, and so you can open your hips. If this foot is straight right here, you're, again, that natural lever point is your body, your weight is going to go over that natural lever point, where if you turn it, your body can't work over your instep like that, because it's just not, it's not linear. It doesn't match up with your body. So you have to throw your instep to both open your hips over your toes, because your hips have to open over your toes, and to stop your body. So good job with that foot right there, turning that inside like that. That's a little detail, but good job turning it to work off of it and allow his hips to open. Really, really low, breaks outside, boom, catch. Really, really, that's a nice whip route for sure. Squares them up, shallow, boom. That's nice. That is nice. I like this signing a little bit more after watching his film in 2018. It's not a guy who's like ridiculously exciting, but you can get away with Hogan being your fourth guy. So it definitely helped out with depth. I think. I think he will be the fourth guy. Ideally, Barrios is going to be more like the punt returner, kick returner type guy, or punt returner. Kick returner's undecided. That's more Vincent Smith, but he's hurt. But like I said, Vincent Smith or Hogan for a game, obviously you're hoping for Vincent Smith's development. He's more of a gadgety type guy, but as a reliable guy to come in, I'm not mad at the signing. Okay. He's right here. This guy is playing with outside leverage. He doesn't want him to get to the outside. Wants to funnel him inside. 1, 2. He dead legs him. Where the dead leg, where the front foot's going to stay back after that initial step. So 1, 2, 3, dead leg. Nice dead leg. So what that's doing is it's just giving, it's obviously screwing with the DB a little bit, but these short, tiny little steps, like when a guy's running at you, you're kind of like, you're without, like, subconsciously, whatever it may be, you're accounting for his stride. So you think his stride's gonna be a certain length. But when you're throwing this dead leg, it's kind of like making you account for a stride that you think he's gonna cover more ground than he does, and he doesn't. So dead leg, 1, 2, 3 all off the right, while that left leg stays back. Hence the dead leg. Squares him up, breaks inside, and he looks like he punches over that arm, chops it down. You can see it affects the corner. Boom, inside for that slant, and he's open, but the ball goes elsewhere to Edelman, who drops it. So I really like that dead leg release. A lot of steps, but little. Okay, this must be a break. Obviously, there's a lot of breaks and routes, but bottom. So this route break, like watching it again right now, I think it could have been improved. I noticed something right off the bat from this. So stems inside, he's just running like a deep like sit. Or honestly, it might be like an option type route, like where you have like those vertical concepts where if they're going to play over the top, you break inside. If you're going to be able to get vertical, you stay vertical. So he just sits this down because the guy's playing vertical over. Most likely, this is most likely an option. So comes up high, throws a stop. But the thing with this is I don't think he commits to this. So he actually gets out of this relatively well. But I don't like this stop step. You see, he's not really fully committed. You see, he's leaning back, body's high. So right, left, right. Yeah. So honestly, this break is okay from him. He actually runs better breaks than this. I'm not sure why I say a lot of steps. Well, there are little steps, but they could have been improved. He's a little bit too high into the first step. Let's see the second step. So too high, and he's turning out of it a little bit too soon. So this is actually not his best route break. High, not committing. and he's leaning out of his break before he makes it. So I want to see, like, even if they are small, 1, 2, 3, commit to those 3, and then turn off that left, that 4th step, and then get out of it. So he takes like 6, 7 steps when it could have been maybe even 5 or 6. Even that one shortened step makes a difference. So that wasn't his best break. Bad drop. Okay. Again, I think his hands are relatively good, but like this play is obviously not very good. Snag, runs a snag right there. The problem here is he turns to run a little bit before he catches the ball. Like he doesn't look the ball in fully here, you could see. Brady hits him on the outside shoulder, goes to pull it in, pops up, interception for the defense. I said his hands were a strong suit, and I think they are, but you obviously don't want to see that. I put that in there because it's not a good play. Hand fighting, we're halfway through. Fuller. All right. So he runs a slot fade. He just short strides him. Stems him to the outside, short strides him. Widens because he doesn't really open his hips. If the corner's open his hips, he'd probably take a more vertical angle, but he doesn't open his hips, so he widens. You want to see him defeat this arm a little bit cleaner. For me, this right hand swipes on the hand, but again, you want to swipe at the elbow. So I like to see a cross chop right here to the left, and then duck your body through it, kind of like almost like rip through him. That's what I would want to say. So he doesn't defeat the hand super cleanly, but and again, if he did, he's leaning a little bit, so it would have thrown Fuller more off balance. He got a little bit more room vertically. He's able to match him a little bit, but you're going to see the left hand right here consistently hand fight while he's looking back for the ball. You just see it. You just see the hand keep going over the top. See it? Right. It starts like now. Over the top. Tracks the ball. Cradles it. And there's a penalty on Fuller too, right there. So good hand fighting. Again, relatively good route. I'd like to see a little bit different of the different usage of the hands at the top. The Bears, the worst camera crew are the worst angles in the NFL. Oh, by the way, something I never mentioned. I always drink out of different cups. Like that are different teams. Like you've probably seen Colts Cup, Cardinals Cup. Do I have a Bills Cup? I don't know if I do. When I go to other stadiums, it's like my collection item type thing. I always get like one of those souvenir cups. You can see on the screen right here. See, it's the Jets. This is the Jets October 17th, 2016 game when the Jets got beat like 3-28 or whatever it was that game. But I flew to Vegas and then stayed in Vegas for 3-4 days with my buddy, and then we went. But if you ever see me drinking at different cups, it's just a weird souvenir type thing I get from every stadium. I get one of their souvenir cups. Titans one I have too. Who else I have? I forget. Titans, Colts, Cardinals, Bills. Other stadiums that I've been to, I forget. I plan to go to every year. If it happens, it happens. If not, whatever. But I will visit every stadium before I'm dead. Bottom of the screen. This is little, so this is more of a hands type play. So he's in man coverage against this is Kendall Fuller from the Chiefs 2018. This is the better Fuller, Kyle Fuller. Stems vertical, just breaks inside on what could have been a bang 8 or whether that be a deep slant. Deep slant is the same thing as a bang 8, pretty much. It's just a quicker post, flatter post. But breaks inside, sees this guy's angle to the flat where they run like another. It's a Panther concept. Technically, a true Panther concept has this out. It has the flat. So when I said the Panther before, the double slants or the last show, I guess, is not technically true. I think, again, there's some things I forget off the top of my head, but I'm pretty sure the actual Panther concept is 2 slants. So slant takes a little bit of a higher angle because of this guy. Obviously, he doesn't want to cut too shallow and hit this guy unless they were obviously targeting to rub that guy, but they're not. So he gets over top of him, breaks, flattens the angle. You can see how his angle is higher, flattens it along the 25, and then I couldn't find another angle for this catch, but it's clearly contested, and he's able to pull it in and make the catch. So pretty good hands, and again, good job flattening it right here. Again, the Bears cameras suck, so if you were to keep it high, you'd allow Fuller to get underneath of it and play the ball, but when you flatten, if a guy is right in your ass, you want to flatten. You don't want to go high because again they can get under you. Just working angles. So he's not going to be able to hop underneath of you and then cut up field. It just doesn't work that way. So good job flattening. Good job with that hands catch clearly, or contested catch at least. Hogan 63-yard TD Yankee concepts. We're gonna have 2 crossers deep. Yep, we have the post and the deep over. This is the Yankee concept, and this is cover 3. It's hard because it really makes a guy pick. So this is literally the point of this. And play action sucks up everybody else. So good design by the Patriots with the play action into the fake end around. Tom Brady steps up. So again, if you have 2 guys who are matching, so here, let's go back. If you have 2 guys who are matching the vertical stems, and then this guy who's going to jump, he has really a choice to jump anything that's more of a threat coming to his zone. Both these guys are going to have outside leverage, correct? Cover 3, they're going to open outside. Both the guys stem inside. One runs a deep post, and one runs underneath that on an over. That makes the safety choose, okay, which one's more open, and then whatever one you choose, the other one's going to have inside leverage. So if you put the ball in a good spot, it's going to beat them. So you could see him, the corner, take the post. He tries to pass off the this corner tries to pass off the deep over. Nobody picks it up. There's a little bit of miscommunication. These guys aren't necessarily wrong. He wanted to pass it off, but they got sucked inside by 10, which is Gordon. Again, the Yankee concept to work. Wide open. Hands catch, runs for a 63-yard touchdown. Good. It's a good play call. Cover 3 versus Yankee concept if you have time. Works a lot. Unless you run cover 3 replace, which is a call for this where you replace zones. So in this scenario, let's just eliminate one guy. In this scenario, he would know to pass this off to the 3 or to the deep middle third. So he'd pass this off, and then he replaces his zone in the middle, so then he would jump this. So that's a cover 3 replacement. That's the correct call for Yankee concept of cover 3, but they don't call that, or there's a miscommunication somewhere, obviously. And Hogan takes it to the house. Good route, good coverage, bottom. Okay, yeah, I remember this play. This is a good play by both of these guys. Like there's plays where both guys make a play, and they both do on this play. So good route and good coverage by Hayden. Get on the bottom. Stems him outside, gets inside. Quick outside stem, inside. Stutter, go. And Hayden does a good job with his being patient here, as you can see. He doesn't fall to that stutter and matches him. Now, the thing with Hogan is because he's a little bit limited athletically in terms of like burst and long speed, you could be a little bit more patient with your hips because you can run with him deep, turn around with him deep. You can speed turn, get outside of him, flip your hips, things like that. So he runs good routes, but he's just not explosive out of them. So you have a little bit more room to play a little bit safer on him. But good job stemming outside, getting inside. Nice stutter. He sells it. Stutter, break more inside to avoid the hands from Hogan. He does get inside of him and gets even with him. Now, if he could have beat him here in terms of like if Brady were to lead this ball shorter and inside and he had to flatten and attack the ball, Hayden would have a tough time getting to that ball, but Brady puts it with too much air under it, in my opinion, and tries to lead him deep. Now, there was coverage here coming, but again, at this point, like ideally, and again, Brady's not what he used to be, in my opinion. I think he's fallen off from the Brady he used to be in 16, 17. I think it started happening earlier. It happens in little steps. He was not Brady of prime Brady for years and years and years now. And last year, I don't think he's really like that good. So yeah, the Bucs might be getting a good quarterback, and he's better than Winston, so they'll do better. But he's 41 years old. He's not what he used to be. Is he a top 5 quarterback? No way. Is he top 10? I would really have to go through the list of quarterbacks to see. But he's not. He's not what he used to be. You're going to see later too. So this play, I think it should be inside and low to let him attack that ball, but it's not. 6 plays left. Hogan, bottom, deep route hands. Again, I'm just showing you what he has. There were some plays where he would get a catch. And he's a pretty safe player. So there were plays I saw like that were like bad that I wanted to show him being in the wrong spot or running a terrible route. So it's a lot of like decent plays of him. It's nothing really overly exciting, but he does have something to offer. Bottom? Is he the bottom? Yeah, it looks like he's the bottom. So he beats I don't know who that is. I think that was like Rashard Robinson or Derek Jones at this point in the season. I think it's like 6 plays or 5 plays from this game. Yeah, this is Derek Jones. The people that Jets fans absolutely loved. So stems him inside. Jones clearly opens his hips too early. Stems him inside. Breaks shallow of that because again, if he's opening inside like this, you want to cut underneath of him. You don't want to get too far upfield and try to cut through him. So when he's going to open up, you want to cut shallow of him. Clubs him. Club, arm over, and now he's beat deep. Again, Jones, because he's not the most spectacular athlete, he's not going to create a ton of separation. But for a guy who's accurate and can lead guys like Sam Darnold can, with this separation, he can hit him. Now, deep ball, Sam Darnold, I think that's one of his weaker traits, or weakest traits. Footwork leads to his deep ball accuracy because he's throwing a lot of arm, he's bucket stepping, he's not having full upper body, lower body disconnection to create that whip-like motion. So the deep ball shows a little bit more, but Darnold can hit this throw. And I think with an improved offensive line, he's going to be able to step through his throws and improve on that stuff. So he is open right here. It's not crazy amount of separation, but this is enough in the NFL to hit him. So good route deep on that corner. 5 plays. Hogan stretch release needs to flatten on the top. Okay, yeah. So this is against I think it's against Rashard Robinson. So I don't like this route from him, to be honest. I like the beginning part of it. So stretch release, just step to the outside to stretch him outside, which he does. He closes ground, stretch outside. The corner opens up. He gets inside of him. Now he needs to this is what I'm talking about, where guys need to flatten. When guys are in pursuit, you need to flatten because when you go too high like this, now they're able to get underneath of you. This is like a perfect example. So because he takes it too high, the corner gets underneath, and he is at this point Brady can't really throw it. So I would like to see get inside, now cut at like the 4 yard line right here. So I think he takes it a little bit too high. Again, if he keeps running right here, he's open. But because he takes it too high, the corner's able to work underneath. So I will criticize that route from him. From Hogan. Okay. Next, Hogan missed on scissors. Okay, so I say that Brady isn't what he used to be because this is a clear touchdown. Should be hit 10 out of 10 times, and he misses them. Right here, bottom, Rashard Robinson. They run a scissors concept. Out and in, it just confuses the defense if they're not going to switch. If they don't have like a Zorro call, they're not going to switch, which they do not. And a Zorro is literally to protect against this, where it's 2 guys playing deep and what looks like cover 4. One cuts inside, you take him. Where like, okay, in typical cover 4, that 10 to 12 yard range, you're going to match the vertical no matter what. But what scissors does is now it's going to put people in conflict deep. Because now they're going to cross over each other, but that Zorro call is now a switch if you're expecting scissors over the top. So that's cover 4 Zorro or a Zorro call. Getting a little bit into the woods with this stuff, but that's what should be called here or could be called here. A lot of teams have automatic Zorros. Like it doesn't even matter. Like based on alignment, it's a Zorro call. So it's not called. Now, could that be Adams too? Did Rashard Robinson trust Adams to get that? Maybe. And I think Adams at this point, I can shit on him a little bit because he's not on the Jets anymore. I think at this point, he should pass this off and see Hogan, but he does not. Hogan is wide open. This is as open as it gets in the NFL, and Brady throws it over his head. This should be hit every. I know Kyle should not he'd be like, oh, you can't make these throws. Kyle, can you make this throw? I know he watches all the shows. Can you make this throw? How many times? I'm gonna bet I've never seen you throw a football. You can hit this 5 out of 10 times. I have confidence in myself. I can hit this 7 out of 10 times. I think that's a lot of room, man. That's a lot of room. I think I could throw come on. That's a 30-yard ball. Yeah. I don't think I'm not saying I could beat Jalen Ramsey and press, but a 30-yard ball with wide open. I played football. It's not like I'm completely unathletic. It's, if you have slight athleticism, you should be able to hit that. Top of the screen, Hogan. Nope, sorry. Oh yeah, it is him. Okay, so Hogan. Inside leverage. Don't like the leverage. The corner's not good. Clearly with that false step, way down to his heels. Hogan stems him far inside. He just stacks him. He really doesn't have to do much here. He honestly, I think he shouldn't widen as much as he does. I think he should take the open hip now. So I think he widens a little bit too far inside, but he is able to stack and get over the top, and he throws a bam step. So he shortened his stride. Now the corner's in trail. Oh shit! Is he cutting inside or outside? He's gonna plant hard off of this right foot. He's gonna give him a little head fake. So it's a quick left right, but like more vertical. It's not a bam step. I mean, it's not a rocker. It's a bam step. So just a quick 1-2 weight shift. Right, his head's gonna go to the right side. His left elbow's gonna come back. Elbow jam. So it's 1-2 elbow jam turn. That's the bam step right here. So stacked bam step. 1-2. A little bit of the head fake right there. It's slight. It's hard to see from this angle. Elbow jam comes. Break outside. Now again, is he wide open here? No, but I think if the throw was better, if it was leading him more to the pylon and not so high, he could have ran underneath this ball. As you could see, this is enough separation. You're telling me if this was to the sideline or to the pylon, this wasn't a catch? I think it would have been. Ball's high and out of his range. So with touch, this ball could have been a touchdown right here too. Or he'd beat Rashad Robinson. Second to last play. Right here, he runs a snag. With a quick adjustment. This is nothing huge, but this is like the right place at the right time type deal. So, 1st and 10, they're trying to get some yards. They're running the 2 snags and the 2 snags with the flats and with the over from Gronkowski. They're just stretching. They're stretching really far. Like they're stretching the defense underneath right here just to get a couple of yards. Which the Patriots are a dink and dunk type team. Hogan sits down on the snag, realizes that Brady's not going to throw to him, and gets in a little bit of trouble. This guy's inside. You don't want to break inside. That this corner who had outside leverage on you is going to be driving down, and he's going to be driving down at an inside angle. So because he's driving down at an inside angle paired with this guy being inside of you, you want to break outside to help Brady out. Breaks outside. Brady sees him, throws the ball. He turns up for a good 20-yard gain-ish. So good adjustment. That's again just being where the quarterback wants you to be. That's exactly what he did right there, and that's what you can rely on him for. Last play of the Hogan review. Top of the screen, route. Oh yeah. Okay, so it's like a post corner nod, or not even a nod, a post corner stick. Like it depends on how you label this. It doesn't really matter, but takes the post. Obviously, the corner looks like Rashad Robinson again. Gets on. He throws his weight back. You want to see? Oh, that's actually Buster's screen. You want to see a little bit cleaner of a break than this. Breaks inside at a high angle. Buster screen's not really patient right here, but fakes the post. Peak technique, looks inside for the ball. Screen is sold. Breaks outside. Now he's in no shit mode. He goes speed turn completely into the blind spot right now that Hogan's working. He goes to run deep because he's in no shit mode. Again, he thinks he ran that like the post 9. Sits it down. Could have been a better break. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's not a bad break. A little bit of dead time at the top. Attacks the ball. Comes back to it, as you can see, extends to it, catches it. I just think the break could have been better, and it would have been an even easier catch if he sank down a little bit more. So he sinks and is over his toes, but again, being a little bit critical, he could have been even more down, a little bit more forceful with that stop step. So he doesn't lunge into it, but he's not as committed as he could be. So I would see 1, 2, 3. I would see really like 3 stops with 1, 2, 3, and then turn with that left and drive off of that left. So I think he leans out of it a little bit too soon. Works back to the ball, catch. So again, is he a game breaker? No. Is he somebody who's a decent, reliable guy as a fourth of his receiver who I feel more comfortable with than Vincent Smith, than Braxton Berrios? Yes. So he wasn't a waste of a signing. That's just what I'm trying to emphasize. That's it for the show. Gore's coming up next. I got another guy who I think people are going to be like, okay, like he has a little bit of juice in the tank. That'll be the 34th edition. This is the 33rd. Again, quickly, ratings, reviews, leave them. JetX Shop, JoeRB31 on Twitter, YouTube Live, the September 2nd, 6 p.m. Call in 818-794-7004. If I don't get at least a couple call-ins, I'll be very disappointed in you guys. The old listeners, the old call-ins from Jet Nation Radio, I expect to hear from at least a couple of you. And if not, at least chat on the YouTube. Really, really, really looking forward to that show with you guys and talking to Kyle again to like wrap up the off season. Take a couple-day break. It's like a 10-day break, and then and then football starts, and it's a grind again. So, and then after that, it's the draft and all this shit. So it's nonstop. I'm really looking forward to that show and the season starting. So we'll see you guys then. Got one more show before then, which is Gore coming up, and then we'll see if the Jets sign anybody else who's worth doing some film on. Appreciate everybody for listening, and I will see you guys soon.